Hey guys, the topic of this video is about the $15 an hour wage increase. Um, and I'm just going to get into details why it's not going to benefit anyone. Um, it's real nice to think that doubling the wages overnight is going to be beneficial for anyone, especially this economy and yourself. It's not. It's not going to help anyone. Now, an argument that I have, which has nothing to do with economics, is do you really think that flipping a burger on a grill and dunking French fries in a deep fryer that takes absolutely zero skill whatsoever is worth more than an emergency medical technician, an EMT, a firefighter, a school teacher? Do you think that job takes more skill? Is it more stressful? No. Your life is not on the line. You're not in charge of the nation's future or anything when you're dunking fries. I've worked fast food, and it is a high school job. There are plenty of jobs out there. Trust me, you just gotta fucking look. If you are watching this video right now, you are not using your resources if you are still working. No, let me make this clear. I'm not trying to offend anyone working fast food, but the ones that believe that they are worth 15 bucks an hour, this video is for you. If you're working fast food, fine. You know, good for you. You're employed. If you believe that, 15 is what you're worth, you're mistaken. You're not. You should be 7.25, what it currently is right now. Minimum wage is for minimal skill, aka high schoolers trying to get some experience making money, paying taxes, buying things they want, working for what they want, moving up in the ranks. I'm only 20. I have zero college experience whatsoever, but I use my resources, this thing in my lap called a computer. I went on this website called Craigslist and I just browsed through all the jobs and see what interested me. Most of them, I guarantee you, most of them require no experience. They will teach you on the job. I'm a network administrator and I have paid for zero dollars towards my education. Zero. Making 30 an hour. So I just don't see an excuse why flipping burgers and dunking fries. You're just lazy. You don't want to excel. You want the excel to be handed to you, not working. Because in EMT, they don't make 15 bucks an hour. They make around 14 and they work extended hours. 50, 60 hours a week. EMTs, that's a skill. You need to be skilled to save someone's life. I don't need they're flipping fucking burgers. I mean, come on, 15 bucks an hour. I started out as an IT technician making $13 an hour, and that takes skill. It actually takes a real life skill where you can actually grow from it and become somewhere where I am right now, a network administrator. But flipping burgers, I mean, come on, man. It just doesn't produce anything for the economy. It doesn't, besides the corporation that you're working for. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. So I got two scenarios right here. Small business owner Bob, Tim, barista at Starbucks. Huge company, small company. So this is where I'm getting at. Starbucks market cap 49 billion bucks. If you don't know what that is, look it up and use your resources. You might actually learn something. Bob's Coffee, $20,000. Okay. Cup of coffee at both of these places is $6. Same cup of coffee, same size, same fucking coffee. It could come out of the same coffee maker and you just pour it in different cups. It's the same exact thing. $6. Takes $2 to make the coffee with the cup and everything. $2. That leaves him with a $4 profit. Bob has four employees, not including himself, but he is a dedicated small business owner working the entire day, both shifts. Tim just works at Starbucks. He's just a barista working one shift. They both need to follow the 7.25 minimum wage. Bob doesn't. He's a store owner. He can pay himself whatever he pleases. Both of these companies are adjacent to each other in downtown Seattle. Rent is pretty high there, but Starbucks and coffee is pretty popular there. So, in order for Bob to keep up with the employees' pay at 7.25, they got to make 2 cups of coffee an hour per employee, not including himself. So that's around 6 cups of coffee to pay for everyone's hourly wage. Now, we're leaving out rent, taxes, the equipment, advertising if they want to grow. That's not covering that. That's just their minimum. That's the minimum they got to make. Doesn't seem bad. Starbucks, same thing, but they don't need to worry about paying rent or anything. They got a market cap to pay that, no matter what the economy's like. So 7.25. The very next day, Bob goes to work. That 7.25 is now 15. He has to pay 15 bucks an hour to everyone that works with him. So that number basically doubles. That 2 cups an hour is around 4 cups an hour to pay for one person's wage. He has 3 people working, including himself. So that's 12 cups of coffee an hour just to pay the wages. So what is Bob, as a business owner, going to do to keep his company up and going, to pay everyone to stay working with him? What is he going to have to do? Because he's losing money now because somehow his overhead just doubled overnight. He's going to have to raise his prices. This is called inflation when prices rise. So now he's going to have to raise his prices. That $6 cup of coffee is now 8 bucks. Starbucks, they could probably raise it up to 7. They don't need to worry about the competition. They actually might keep it low to knock their competitors out because that's how greedy these corporations are. So Starbucks, 6 bucks an hour. So why is anyone going to go to Bob's Coffee now for the same damn cup of coffee if they could go to Starbucks right across the street and get it at a cheaper price? So what happens? Bob starts cutting employees. He starts cutting his own pay. Any benefits that he gave to his loyal employees, garbage can. Bob goes out of business. Small businesses just tumble. It is a nightmare for small businesses everywhere. To begin with, Bob wasn't even making 7.25. Starbucks, this is where everyone wants their wage raise. Starbucks, McDonald's, Burger King, the most useless jobs in this economy. No offense to anyone that works there and doesn't want the $15 an hour raise. So now this place, you're working 50 hours a week, making that 7.25. Bam, overhead doubles overnight. That is great. Guess what happens to your hours? Boo! Your benefits, whoop, out the trash. They don't need to give you any benefits. You're not full time anymore. No one's full time anymore because Starbucks, they doubled their wage overhead overnight. So why are they going to pay full-time employees all this extra benefits if they could just make everyone part-time work and hire more people? And that 15 an hour, everyone gets that 15 an hour, but they're probably working 10 hours a week. So you're not making enough. You're going to go find another job. That other job might not be hiring people because they already met their overhead requirements with their pay. And then you'll see a downward spiral from there. And then you go to your house and try to pay your rent, which is well above what you could afford at this point, making 15 an hour. You can't pay it. Now you're homeless. Now this was all a theoretical idea, but it is very realistic. It is very realistic. Small business owners, I'm sorry, goodbye. Now, let's change up the scenario. If the small business can afford that $15 an hour, I I believe that it should be an internal thing. If Bob's Coffee is excelling really good, they're just thriving, just business. Everyone's coming to Bob's Coffee, and if one of their baristos is making the world's best coffee, and he believes that they deserve a reward. They deserve double what they make to keep them working for them. If he can afford that, by all means do it. That is not inflation whatsoever. That is not the definition of inflation. Because he could keep the same overhead and keep that very good employee and pay them to stay with them. But if Bob can't afford it, but he has to pay them more because of this law, well, that's called inflation. And that is economics for you guys. If you have any remark whatsoever, please comment. I will love to read what you have to say. Fight for 15, guys, and try to fight and keep your small business alive, and try to fight and keep your rent paid every month.